What's up, guys? George Wildheart back again. This is my long overdue Blu-ray update. Um, I got about 75. I know I got a problem. 75 Blu-rays over the last 6 months or so. I think that's the last time I did one was about 6 months ago. So a lot of these were eBay or Amazon sales. I make it a rule not to pay more than $9.99 for Blu-rays. A lot of these things I got off eBay for like a couple bucks. I finally broke down and got an all-region Blu-ray player. So I've been ordering like budget titles from Amazon UK. That's stuff that's just not available in the United States on Blu-ray yet anyway, but when they will be, I'm still pretty sure I got them cheaper from Amazon UK. A lot of these titles too I picked up at work, some for like 65 cents or 85 cents a piece at my cost. We carry a lot of not cut out, but budget titles there. So definitely check out www.oldies.com if you're looking for some cheap Blu-rays. A lot of horror stuff, a lot of stuff from the Asylum movie company. So I'm just gonna jump into these. This is probably gonna be a long one. I'm not gonna spend too much time on certain titles because a lot of these people already know, but a lot of these I haven't even opened yet. I just haven't had the time to watch them. But let's jump into it. Again, a lot of these are I think everything in here was under $10. I would say 70% of them were probably under $5. But first up, Dread, the 3D. Actually, yeah, this is the 3D version. I got this from Amazon sale. Well, this might have been a Best Buy sale for $7.99. Haven't opened it yet. I've seen the movie. I love the movie. So, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Again, this is just the Blu-ray, not the 3D. This was again another Best Buy $7.99. So that was cool. I like that movie too, although I've only seen half of it. The first Die Hard was $4.99. I think one of the $4.99 titles at Best Buy. This is the 2-disc version. Another great movie, which I think has been overlooked big time, and that's Killing Them Softly with Brad Pitt. Also has James Gandolfini and Ray Liotta in it. I love this movie. I thought this was really good. This is the Steelbook. Again, this was, I think, this might have been a $9.99 one, but I love this film. I saw it on from Netflix and decided to pick it up. Another one, I haven't watched this yet, but it just looked interesting. Kill Zombie. It's another cheapie, probably from work. I believe it is a foreign film. Yeah, it's language is in Dutch, but with English subtitles. So I heard good things about this one, so I'll be checking that one out. Really underrated, I thought, Stallone film, and that was Daylight. This was another $4.99 one. Bonus features has like the making of, commentary with the director, music video, but pretty cool. If you're not familiar with this, I believe it's like the Lincoln Tunnel or something like that. Bomb goes off and they get stuck in there and he has to find a way to get out. But I remember liking that film a lot. A $9.99 one from Best Buy that I picked up. 3-movie pack. That's the Austin Powers thing. I love these films, especially the last two. I wasn't a big fan of the first film, but I thought The Spy Who Shagged Me and Goldmember were really funny. I picked that up. Die Hard with a Vengeance. This is the third film. I haven't picked up part 2 yet. I wasn't a big fan of part 2, but I liked obviously the first one, and I really liked this one as well. This has got Samuel L. Jackson in it as well. Really cool film, I think. I like that one a lot. This was the limited edition steelbook of the Incredible Hulk. You know, there's comic cover ones. This is the 2-disc set. And this stars Edward Norton. I like this better than the first one, the Hulk. Really good film. Cheap one I picked up at work. Was like less than $1. I haven't watched it yet, but a comedy called Postal. The only reason I picked this up, it's got Dave Foley in it from Kids in the Hall. So I'll probably check this out when I'm bored one night. Another cheap 48 Hours. Starring Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. And if you look, starring Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy. I don't know why they decided to switch the names. Really kind of I would imagine some young kid had never saw this movie that works in their art department went, yeah, that sounds right, instead of checking with anybody, but kind of silly. Great movie though. Another classic I picked up for cheap, Boondock Saints. Starring Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. Billy Connolly's in this. Really good film. Wasn't a huge fan of the second one, but I still liked it. I love this film. The second one I know got panned pretty good, but this is a really good movie. Another cheap one. I've always I got this at Best Buy. I've always been a huge fan of Jackie Gleason. I never saw this film, but it was a $4.99 film, black and white film with Paul Newman and Jackie Gleason and George C. Scott, and that's The Hustler. Jackie Gleason plays Minnesota Fats, who was a who was a pool player, you know, in the pool hall hustler. But I haven't watched this yet, but I'm definitely curious to see it. I've never seen it. Like I said, it was $4.99, so picked that up. Got this on eBay for used for $8.99, which I was surprised it was a buy it now for $8.99, and it's the DVD Blu-ray combo of Sleepaway Camp, and this is the newly released Scream Factory release, which I love all their releases. They do an amazing job with everything that they've put out. I think there's actually one in here. There is one in here that I bought. There's the inside. Paid full price for it because I couldn't wait. But Sleepaway Camp, this is the first, and hopefully they'll do the second and third one. They'll get a proper Blu-ray release of it. But basically came out in the time the first Friday the 13th, has that vibe, you know, kids in the camp and there's a killer on the loose, but pretty cool. Not the greatest film of all time, but pretty cool, cheesy, you know, 80s horror. I got this used as well for $4. And it's the steelbook version. Unfortunately, there's some damage to the inside of it, which is not a big deal, but that's the Rob Zombie's Lords of Salem. I got mixed reviews on this one. I haven't watched it yet because people that I pretty much trusted, you know, said it was just okay. If you're bored, watch it, but I gotta be honest with you, I love Rob Zombie films, but I'm not a big fan of his wife as an actress. I thought her best role was The Devil's Rejects, playing whatever her name is, in that baby girl, or what the hell ever. But she was so annoying in that movie, but it worked. And she was just okay in the Halloween films, but it looks like this movie's got really, like, she's a starring role in it. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to his newest film called 31. I just hope she's not in it. I mean, she's pretty. She seems like a nice woman. Just, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of her acting. Next up is Outpost 3. This is a great Nazi zombie kind of movie. This is the third one. I believe this is a prequel to the other two. I haven't watched this yet because I wasn't a big fan of the second one, but I got this cheap enough that I definitely will check it out at some point. Right now the family's away again, so for the week, so I've been watching a ton of movies. But it was just, you know, I'll check that out whenever. Another one I got from Code Red Entertainment. I haven't watched this yet, but it's Nail Gun Massacre. I know they're limited edition. These are kind of hard to get, but I think I also paid $7. You know, this is one that I paid over $10 for. I just remember watching this film, renting it when I was a kid. I think it came out in like 1985, I think, somewhere around there. I remember, you know, renting the VHS at my local movie rental place, but so I'm curious to see it again after all these years. It probably sucks now, but you know, I kind of remember liking it. Another one I got on the cheap, the first RoboCop, the original. I did have the remake, and I sold it on eBay because I thought it was fucking horrible, but just not a good film. This one, especially when you have this one to kind of, you're making a remake make of a classic like this one. I just hated the remake, but I got rid of that. There's a few that I've gotten rid of over, like Oculus. I just got Oculus. That movie sucked ass, so I sold that on eBay as well. So that's no longer in the collection, but first RoboCop, $4.99, Best Buy, killer. Amazon UK, I got the Jean-Claude Van Damme Blu-ray of Sudden Death, which is probably one of my favorite films that he's done, his later films. This takes place in Pittsburgh during, I believe it's the Stanley Cup Finals. Also stars Powers Booth. Really cool. There's a bomb in the building, I think it was, but I think that was the gist of the film, but it's not available on Blu-ray in the US, so Best Buy UK was £2, so I picked that up, which ends up being like $3.50 or something like that. So really killer, and it turns out that this one, I believe, is all region. Sometimes they say it on the back, sometimes they don't, but I remember before I got the all region player, I popped this in and it worked, so I believe that's an all region one. One that I've seen, I haven't seen the second one yet, and that's Badass, starring Danny Trejo. I love this first one. I saw it on Netflix and I got it for $4.99 when I bought Badass 2 with Danny Glover. Haven't watched this yet, but I heard it's just as good as the first one. Basically, senior citizen can't take it anymore. He sees kids on a bus robbing somebody or picking on somebody, and ends up he decides to beat the shit out of them. Vigilante justice. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm probably going to watch this tonight after SummerSlam. Yeah, I will be watching SummerSlam tonight. Because I'm a WWE nerd. Next up is one called Afflicted. And this is on, this is a Sony release. I think this was on FearNet. I haven't seen this yet, but I got this at, where did I get this? eBay, I think I got this. eBay for cheap. Haven't watched it yet, but I heard good things. I heard good reviews on that one. Next up is a PBS special called Superheroes: A Never-Ending Battle. Cool, very cool documentary. With interviews with Adam West, Stan Lee, Joe Simon, Linda Carter. It's 3-hour documentary, I think. So it's kind of one of those things. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. I watched the first hour and a half of it, but really interesting. Tells you different, about all the superheroes over the years, comic book heroes. Pretty cool though. Next up, this is another. I can't. There's probably 4 or 5 in here that I paid not full price for, but over $10, and this is one of them. Cannibal Holocaust. Considered the most controversial movie ever made. A lot of people thought this was real when it first came out, because of the footage in it. Some of the footage is brutal. I mean, if you didn't know any better, you would think it was real, but it's done so well that it really, it really shocked the shit out of people when it first came out, especially with the girl on the spike. Shows you pretty much how they did that whole scene during the extra features and stuff. There's, the whole thing's been remixed and remastered. High definition transfers from the original director's cut. Really killer movie. I mean, it's not I don't know, it's not the greatest movie, but for gore and shock value, it's fucking awesome. Another UK one I picked up after I got my all-region player, and this isn't available in the United States, and that's the original Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. I always liked this film. Also stars Louis Gossett Jr. I always liked this film. It looks great on Blu-ray. I don't know why they haven't put it out here yet. I'm sure it'll be out at some point, but the transfer is nice. There's no special features on this, obviously, but it looks a lot better than the DVD version. Another UK one I picked up. This one was £2 as well, which ends up being like $3.50 or $3.70, and that's Husk, the After Dark originals. Comes in a weird slip. The slip cases over there are a lot shorter, I guess, because they leave the top out, but pretty cool Scarecrow film. Came out late last year, I believe, or around Halloween last year, but it's pretty cool. Another one I got from the UK. This was £5, which ended up being like 7 something. Cabin Fever 3, Patient Zero. I don't know if this is out here yet, but this stars what's his name? Sean Astin from, what was it, The Goonies and the Hobbit films, or whatever they're called. I'm not a big fan of those films, but pretty cool gore in this. Better than the second one. I thought the second one was a mess. This is kind of like a prequel of where the actual virus outbreak came from, but pretty neat. Low budget film, but like I said, nice gore to it. It's a cool shot there. The story was pretty good. It's definitely worth checking out if, I guess it's coming out here. I did see an article on it in Fangoria last month, but I haven't seen it yet. The US one yet. I also picked this up. I know this is coming out from Scream Factory, but I got this cheap, and I love this company that puts these out. Arrow Video from the UK. That's The People Under the Stairs. They're doing a US one, I think, on Scream Factory this fall. This has a ton of special features. I mean, a ton. Arrow's been putting out stuff. I got Diary of the Dead. Give me a break. Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead on Arrow, probably 2 or 3 years ago. Those things go for like $200-300 a piece now. I don't know why, because I know Day of the Dead came out. Scream Factory put it out last year, but I don't know why. I guess they're out of print. And I just recently ordered Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 on the Arrow video label, but I haven't opened this yet, but I definitely will be revisiting this soon. I like this film a lot. It's cool artwork too. Another one that Jose Prendez does, which I watch on YouTube here on YouTube. He did this film, and I thought it was really good. The Haunting of Whaley House. This is one we got at oldies.com for real cheap. I think in the catalog it's $4 or $5. Really cool. I think Sean C. Phillips is in this. He's a cool duder here on YouTube. I think he's in the beginning, from what I remember. I like Sean a lot. I've been watching his videos now for probably 5 years or so. Funny dude. Definitely check it out. Cool dude on here. I'll put a link. And I'll put a link down for Jose Prendez's channel as well. But thought this was done very well. Really cool movie. This is an asylum film, which I think I've got about 10 asylum films in this pile, but definitely check out The Haunting of Whaley House. I thought that was really good. Another used one I picked up, Steelbook Heat, with Val Kilmer, Pacino, and De Niro. I remember liking this film when it came out. I haven't seen it probably since it came out. This was used at a place that was closing down here called Movies You Buy, which is no longer around my area. That's where I used to get a lot of used Blu-rays from. I didn't know they were closing. I just hear the dog puking in the background. It's disgusting. He got her up. I went actually yesterday and it was empty. No warning, no nothing. But next up is another asylum film, Bigfoot, and this stars Danny Bonaducci and Barry Williams. CGI, Alice Cooper's in this as well. The CGI in this is awful, but these movies are so fucking bad they're funny. So again, we carry this at oldies.com. Really cheap. Definitely check it out. It's fun. This is Anchor Bay. I thought this was Asylum. Jersey Shore Shark Attack. Not that good. Wasn't very good. We'll just skip that one. Another cheap one I got at work. We got these in, and that's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, starring Robert De Niro. I don't think I've ever seen this film. I don't know why, but I'm definitely going to check this out. This was another one that we got, like the budget bin stuff at work, but I'll definitely be checking that one out. Here's a Mill Creek title that we got at work. I know after I bought it for like 65 cents or something like that. And then I read the reviews, and I think it was like 1 star. But it's a double pack with A Brush with Death and Harvest of Fear. But for 65 cents, even if it sucks, I'll just, we'll trade it in somewhere. Another one I got from Amazon UK. This one as well as All Region, but I don't think it's out here. At least I didn't see it anywhere after I researched it, and that's Mask Maker. There's a lot of cameos in this. Some are a little longer than others, like Terry Reiser's in this, who was in Weekend at Bernie's. He played Bernie. He was also in Friday the 13th 7. A New Blood. Not A New Blood. What was that one called? Anyway, it was he played the girl's psychiatrist or whatever that had the special powers. What the hell was that one called? Anyway, it was part 7. Also, this stars Michael Berryman and Treat Williams. Kind of a cool story. I would give it like a 3 out of 5, I guess. It wasn't the greatest film by any means, but it kind of reminded me of Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Friday the 13th, really. The killer, every time he would kill somebody, he would take their skin or their whole head off, really, and peel it off and wear it over his own head, kind of like Leatherface did. Leatherface just made like the face mask. This guy puts the whole head over. you know, the skin over his head, but kind of cool. Some of it was creepy. Like, I don't know if you could see if it's going to focus on that, but he's got somebody's head, somebody's face on there that looks pretty fucking wild. But it was a good film. It wasn't great, but it's definitely worth checking out. Again, this was like £2 something on Amazon UK, and this one is an all region one. Another cheap one I picked up, Reservoir Dogs. Always liked this film. I haven't seen it probably since it came out, so I'll definitely be re-watching that one. Here's another one I paid full, well, you know, full cost for, my cost on. Cheers. I've been waiting for this such a long time to come out. Motel Hell. Again, Arrow did this as well in the UK. I haven't bought it yet. I don't think there's special features. I think there's more special features on this one than the UK one, so I'm probably just going to stick with this. But about Farmer Vincent and his sister cutting up travelers and making some jerky and meats out of them. So, classic film. Everyone should know that one. I got this one as a promo, and that's The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I love this film. I thought it was great. I prefer, believe it or not, The Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2 over the last 3 movies that they've done with Tobey Maguire. I think there's more of a story. I don't know. It's just weird. It's bad. Like, Spider-Man 3 was so fucking awful. 1 and 2 are good, but this has the villains, basically the origin story of the Green Goblin, Electro, what's his name? Jamie Foxx, who I can't stand, but he was good in this. And Rhino, which I think was, when I watched it, Paul Giamatti was Rhino. But pretty shocking death in this film, which I'm not going to give it away if you haven't seen it yet. I was surprised that they killed this character off. But I love this film. I thought it was really good. The 3D looks amazing. Definitely check that one out. Kind of a creepy film I just got I got this not used. I got it as a promo, and that's The Sacrament. Eli Roth film. I don't know if people that are watching this are familiar with the TV magazine or video on YouTube called Vice. They also have a show on HBO that's executive produced by Bill Maher from Real Time. This film's basically, I almost thought it was a retelling of the Jonestown Massacre with Jim Jones, and it's the same vibe, same idea. Really creepy, kind of gives you the insight of what these people went through, and it's filmed like documentary style, but definitely worth checking out. I thought this was really good. The special features even mentioned the Jonestown Massacre. That's, you know, if you don't know what Jonestown Massacre is, look it up. Basically, religious nut job, which I think all religious people are nut jobs anyway, but they follow this man and basically off themselves because they think the government's coming to get them. Definitely check out The Sacrament. Really cool film. Next up we have Wolf Creek. This isn't available in the UK and US on Blu-ray. Got this from Amazon UK. So I picked that up. I love this film. The only reason I got this really cheap, again, this was like £2, something like that, which is, again, $3.50. And I picked up Wolf Creek 2, which I haven't watched this one yet, because I want to watch them back to back. But I heard good things about this one as well. Let's definitely check that out. Another cheapie I got. This is another. I thought this was Asylum, but it's not. I haven't watched Shed Sex Tape. Not to be confused with the comedy, but it's kind of. I heard, you know, just okay things about that one. Weird Science. One of my favorite comedies of the 80s. Pick that up. The rest I'm just going to blow through because we're already over a half hour here and that's ridiculous. Death Stop Holocaust. Picked this up at work. Again for super cheap. Scream Factory, The Final Terror. I got this used on eBay. I saw it was on Scream Factory and picked it up. Revenge of the Nerds. Got this. This was a Best Buy, $4.99. Grudge Match with Stallone and De Niro. I actually love this film. I thought it was really good. It's funny. This was $7.99. Lake Placid on Scream Factory. This one was eBay, I think, for $9.99. I think that just came out. One called Hollow, Tribeca Films. Never saw it. I got this as a promo in the mail, so I'll have to check that out. I got this for $2 at Princeton Record Exchange a couple months ago. Harold and Kumar, Escape from Guantanamo Bay. I love this film. I thought it was funny. I had the first one on Blu-ray. Never got this one, so I picked that up. 13 Sins. Again, another Anchor Bay title. This was a cheap one. I got, I think, on Amazon, used from somebody on Amazon. Has Ron Perlman in it. I thought this was good. Definitely worth checking out. Kind of, this kid keeps getting phone calls, and he would get money put in an account if he did whatever the person on the phone told him to do, what to do. You know, told him to do, he would do it. Kind of a neat idea. Sabotage, which is another promo with Schwarzenegger. Heard mixed review. I loved this show. I thought it was really good. I thought the violence in it, the bullet headshots, and man, they were brutal looking. Cool storyline. The girl got on my nerves, and she kind of, I'm not going to give too much away, but I kind of figured out who was, you know, basically the asshole of the group was from the very beginning. I couldn't stand her. Another one I didn't care for. I got this cheap at Princeton Record Exchange, Buck Wild. Kind of like a zombie comedy thing. I don't know. It was just okay. It wasn't anything great. Got this at Princeton as well. Joyride 3. I didn't like Joyride 2. I don't know what possessed me to grab this one, but it was cheap. Another one I thought was just okay. I know it got good reviews, but maybe I gotta watch it again. I just wasn't in the mood. 100 Bloody Acres. Kind of a comedy. I think it's an Australian film. It was just alright. Definitely worth checking out. Maybe not worth buying, but if you find it cheap, obviously used, check it out. One of my favorite films last year, Anchorman 2. The uncut one. The supersized R-rated version's not worth watching. The unrated version's probably the funniest one of all of them, but I always liked Anchorman, the first one. I thought that was just as good. Well, maybe not just as good. It was good, but not as good as the first one. Star Trek Into Darkness. This was another Best Buy, I think $9.99 one for Memorial Day sale. Pretty killer. I like this movie. I'm not a Star Trek fan at all, but I love the newer movies. And the older Star Trek movies I liked, but I was never a fan of like the TV show or even the Next Generation TV shows, but I like the movies. It's weird. This one I thought was fantastic. Open Grave. This is another Tribeca Films thing. Guy wakes up in a grave full of rotting bodies, and figures he's got to figure out why the hell he woke up there. Really cool, kind of not really zombie movie, but I guess, infection film, but you don't see any infected people. Well, that's not true. You see a couple. I don't want to give it away. This I thought was fantastic. I got this at Princeton for $2.99. 21 Jump Street. I haven't seen the new one yet, but I saw clips that look hysterical. But I thought this was funny as shit. It's really good. This one I didn't care for. Unfortunately, Machete Kills. It was okay up until the end. I liked the first one. Not a fan of this one. Probably won't watch this again. This might end up on eBay as well. I don't know. I might keep it. Who knows? Everything I don't like, I sell off. So there's been stuff that I didn't even show because I thought it was awful. But Porky's, $7.99. Still a funny film. Not as funny as I thought it once was, but pretty cool to have. $7.99. Got this as a promo. Super Duper Alice Cooper documentary. It was just okay. I wish it was so much better, but I don't know. It was alright. I mean, it's definitely worth checking out. I just thought the way it was put together, I didn't care for too much. Bad Grandpa, I got used on eBay. Love this film. I know there's a Bad Grandpa .5 or 1.5 or whatever it's called out now, but definitely the kid in this cracks me up. Definitely a cool film. One of my favorites of last year. This is the end with everybody. You know, Danny McBride, James Franco, Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, Craig Robinson. Really funny. Really funny film. Another one that was just okay, Hell Baby. It was, I don't know. That might end up on eBay. One I got at work I haven't watched yet, Pain and Gain, with The Rock and Mark Wahlberg. It looked okay. Again, this was like less than $1 for me. Another promo, Curtains. I kind of remember this when I was younger, but I haven't seen it. I haven't watched this yet. Sharktopus. It was $1. What the hell, you know. I'll check it out. Body Bags from Scream Factory. John Carpenter anthology, kind of like Twilight Zone or, you know, the Creep Show. I remember seeing this when I was younger, especially the Stacy Keach one where he has the long hair. Scream Factory's The Fog. I actually got this for $7.99, and I thought it was used, and when I got it in the mail it was still sealed, so $2 I got this, Ghost Ship. I always liked this film. The DVD I had was full screen, so I decided to get the Blu-ray. Spaceballs with the weird front panel cover. It's just I stuck it in the plastic. That's not the real cover, but that's what came on this version. Classic film, $4.99. Decided to grab that. Promo of Without Warning from Scream Factory. I don't remember this film at all, but I'll definitely check that out. All Cheerleaders Die. I got this as a review copy in the mail this week here at home. We'll check that out. Aftermath. Another review copy, I think starring Edward Furlong, who I can't stand, so I might not even watch that one. And lastly, Shallow Grave. Criterion Collection. I haven't watched this yet. I know it stars, what's his name? Yeah, that guy from that other movie. You know who I'm talking about. It's a Danny Boyle film. What the hell is his name? Anyway, I'm drawing brain farting like a motherfucker right now. Check that out. And two I bought at work. Toxic Avenger. That just came out. And The Possession of Michael King. So I haven't checked those out yet. Anyway, that's it. Super long fucking update. Sorry. There probably won't be another Blu-ray update for another 6 months, because I don't expect to find the haul that I've gotten for this cheap. I think I priced it all out. It was under $200 that I paid for all this shit over the past 2 months. So, and that's selling shit on eBay and buying shit on eBay for cheap. Anyway, I know this has been a long one, so enjoy. New LP and CD update coming soon, so check it out. Peace. Thanks for subscribing again.